So thank you, everyone, for being here. Petra, I'm incredibly excited about this. We met a couple of weeks ago for the first time. We've talked on the phone. Petra has been peppering me with emails. I love that because you're very excited about that, and this is very flattering. This is your first exposure to Most Powerful Women. I didn't tell you this when we talked, but one of the reasons that I'm very excited about talking to you is because I've sort of preached, and this is something that the Most Powerful Women community has taught me, that our real power is about taking a certain platform that we have and using it to do something that's really unexpected. And Petra personifies that because, I'll give you a little background. She grew up in Karviná, a mining town in what is now the Czech Republic. And she is the daughter of a construction worker and a school teacher. And Petra was 12 years old when communism fell. And she left Karviná at 18 for Milan. Talk about taking a risk and leaning in. She made a bet that she could become a very successful model, and she became that very quickly. On the covers of Elle and Harper's Bazaar and Cosmopolitan and Marie Claire and Sports Illustrated. Petra was on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition in 2003. And I talked a few hours ago with a woman named MJ Day, who is part of Time Inc., who is the top editor of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And we were talking about you. I didn't tell you this. And she said she always had that light. She had a joyful energy that none of the other models had. And it's almost as if the thing that happened to her was an opportunity to harness that joyful energy. So what happened to Petra is that in 2004, the year after she was on the cover of SI, she was vacationing in Thailand with her fiancé, and the tsunami hit 10 years ago. And Petra's fiancé was swept away, and his body was found a few months later. And Petra was swept away also. And she was in very, very deep water, deep enough that she managed to cling to the top of a palm tree for 8 hours with a pelvis that was broken in 4 places. And you were found, and you were rescued. And she spent a few weeks in the hospital in Thailand and then was flown back to her native Czech Republic and took, 4 months to start walking? And MJ said to me, I don't know if other models that who we've worked with could have survived that in the way and turned it into something new and great as you have. So kudos to you, and I just want to give, it's an amazing story. So Petra, tell us what came out of that.
First of all, good evening, ladies and a few gentlemen. It's truly an honor, and yes, I was extremely excited to be here tonight because there are incredible women in this room which I can learn so much from. So I feel very humbled to be here with you, Patty, on the stage, and I hope I get to know many of you after the dinner or during the dinner. What came out of that experience is that every negative experience has something positive. And during that tsunami, more than 230,000 people passed away, millions impacted. But in the same time, there was so much unconditional love coming from all over the world. Individuals, families, countries asking how we can help, what we can do. And in the same time, then and there, that day, I've seen the unconditional love as well. The person who found me after 8 hours hanging onto a tree when I thought nobody's going to be able to find me was a Thai man. And he was risking his own life to help a stranger because next wave could come anytime. You've seen the unconditional love of so many individuals extending themselves to help others. that's, it was so enlightening. The other positive thing which came out of it was that I was able to establish a charity named Happy Hearts Fund, and we focus on rebuilding resilient schools in areas impacted by natural disasters. The schools are disaster-proof. They bring 21st century to students and communities. We work very closely with communities and empower them. That time, we had a goal to build one school. And 7.5 years later, we have built 85 schools in 7 countries around the world. There's more to do. There's a lot more to do.
So you started out planning to build one school in Thailand, and how did it become a movement? What transformed your thinking about it?
It was, I think, one of the very important sort of drives which kept me going and keeps me going until now is, and why focusing on children, is that the day actually of the tsunami, when I was hanging onto a tree, I was hearing children screaming for help. And after half an hour, I couldn't hear them anymore, which meant that I couldn't hold on. And I was trapped myself with the trees and debris all around me. So that day, I didn't have a choice. Today, I have a choice. And every single day, I have a choice to help children. And the movement is very much based on that passion, but also on the need. Because one of the things which I've learned, and I see all the time, is that when first responders leave after natural disasters, often the support leaves as well. But devastated communities stay. And children wait for a safe school 4-6 years later. That means whole primary school and whole generation can be lost. So that the movement is based out of need, based on need.
So you actually move into these disaster-struck markets several months afterwards.
Yes.
The Philippines typhoon hit in December. And you're planning to build schools there?
As well, yes.
Uh-huh. And you've raised how much money so far?
16 million.
16 million. That's fantastic. You're operating in 7 countries.
And soon 9.
And I'm sorry?
And soon 9.
Soon 9. Yes. And this is mainly in Asia and Latin America and the United States also?
In a much smaller way, yes.
And that is what, New Orleans?
After Sandy.
Oh, after Sandy.
Rockaway, yes.
Okay. Oh, terrific. Okay. And you have a partnership with Clinique.
Who is in the room.
And actually we have Jane Lauder. Raise your hand. Jane Lauder is here, new to the Most Powerful Women community. And Estee Lauder, I was looking at the Happy Hearts website. The Estee Lauder has actually given over $1 million to the Happy Hearts Fund. $10 of every Clinique, certain products go to the Happy Hearts Fund. So there is a Clinique Happy Hearts fragrance, and Jane is the new head of Clinique for Estee Lauder. So that's a wonderful thing. Petra, what's your goal? What's your long-term goal?
For this year, as we have the 10th anniversary since the tsunami on 26th of December, the goal is to commemorate the anniversary with building of 100 schools. And that's why we're working hard on that. We have a gala dinner in June to commemorate the 10th anniversary with honoring President Clinton, will.i.am and Apple from Black Eyed Peas, and United Airlines. And all of them, they're very passionate about helping in areas impacted by natural disasters. With them, with our corporate partners like Clinique and Chopard, we will work very hard on this goal for this year, but there's a bigger goal and bigger needs. It's part of Happy Hearts, but beyond Happy Hearts. And it's something a little bit what I mentioned is that when there needs to be better sustained response. There needs to be a shift in the way as we do sustained response, because, as I mentioned, children waiting for 4-6 years for a new safe school, that's not acceptable, and there needs to be a solution.
So how can you galvanize? What message can you send to the very powerful women in this room, including 22 rising star women leaders from across the developing world? What can they do to help you?
So just to put it in a context, there's going to be 320% of increase of natural disasters in the next 20 years. So we have to get prepared.
Because of, well, let's not get into that debate.
But this is something which reports are showing, so we need to get prepared to be able to help the communities faster and better. And what we can do, it's next time when there's a natural disaster, of course there's a need to help the crucial life-saving first responders work, but also to think about building, supporting the rebuilding of homes, hospitals and schools, because that will make your support last. What happens, there's a first responders, they come and there's lots of support, and then it drops so tremendously. And to create a little bit more sustained response, think about supporting both first response and rebuilding. That way you enable the families to go faster on their feet, and they can start taking care of themselves. And that's one simple way.
And we certainly saw this problem arise in Haiti following the earthquake, right? Lots of support in those first, few months, year, and then it kind of dropped off. And you have a lot of experience in Haiti. You first started working in Haiti with the Happy Hearts Fund in 2007, and then after the earthquake, which was 2010, you actually got very involved. And tell us about your work in Haiti, and you're very involved in Haiti.
Yes. I have been nominated also as ambassador at large for Haiti, and I fell in love with the country already in 2007, and there is definitely a lot of need, but also the perception and the reality of Haiti is very different now, today. In 2007, the perception was very bad, but today, it's very different. You may have not known that actually Haiti is the safest country in the Caribbean now.
The safest in terms of what's the measure? What's the?
In terms of casualties per 100,000 people. It has an economical growth of 4.3%. It's creating their own made in Haiti tablets with Surtab. It's built 300 kilometers of roads, 400 kilometers repaired. There are 3 new hotels built last year. This year Marriott is opening. Heineken is investing $100 million. A lot of great changes.
So you're living there? How much time are you spending there?
About 40-50% of my time, because I'm on a plane a lot.
That's fascinating. I think we have to wrap up. Is that correct? I think we have to wrap up because we have another fabulous speaker to come. So, Petra, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you.
It's an honor.